Hey there, fellow viewers. Welcome back to our channel where we are about to dive into the world of AWS and show you how to create an EC2 instance from scratch. To follow along, you will need an AWS account. And in AWS Management Console, locate EC2 service. If you don't have it on this page here, just type in this search bar, just type in EC2 and click on it. It's going to take you to EC2 console. Next, click on Launch Instance. Next, you want to give your instance a name as well as soon as the page loads. So the name of my instance is going to be my_server. And next, you have to select an AMI type. So an AMI is a template that contains a software configuration required to launch your instance. So let's go with Amazon Linux 2023. This is free tier eligible. Now the architecture, let's leave it as default, 64-bit x86. For instance type, let's go with T2 micro. It is free tier eligible. Now, if you have an existing key pair, you can click on this drop-down arrow and select the key pair. If you do not have an existing key pair, you want to click on create new key pair and then give your key pair a name. In my case, I'm going to give it, or I'm just going to give it new underscore key. And then I'm going to leave every other thing as default and click on create key pair. What happened is that two key pair are going to be created. The public one is going to remain in this EC2 instance, and the private one is going to be downloaded on my local machine, precisely in the download folder, regardless of if I am using Windows or a Mac OS. Now, under network settings, I'm going to leave everything as default. Under storage configure, under configure storage, I'm going to leave it as default. Now I'm going to click on this advanced details here because we have user data that we want to add to this instance so that at the end we'll be able to have an Apache web server deployed on it. So I'm going to grab my user data and paste it in this window here. And what we have, let me give you a quick explanation of what we want to achieve with this user data. The first line is the shebang. It's called the shebang. So it determines which shell in which this script is going to run. Here we are escalating privilege to root before making our installation. And this line is going to update our instance. The second line is going to install Apache HTTPD. The next line is going to do what? Is going to start HTTPD service. And this other line here is going to enable the service such that if we reboot our server, we don't have to explicitly come back and start our service. Now, this is a line that is going to be displayed on our web page. Hello world from $hostname. This is a variable here. So what are we going to do next? We are going to review our summary here. The number of instances we want to create is 1, of course. If you want to create 10 servers, you can change this number from 1 to 10. Now, we are launching an Amazon Linux 2023 AMI, and the instance type is T2 micro. So our security group, we have our security group here, and our volume is 8 gigabytes. So we are going to click on launch instance button here to launch our instance. So once we launch our instance, we click on this instance ID so that it takes us directly to where this instance is being launched. So here under name, we have the name of our instance. Under instance ID, we have the actual instance ID. The state is still pending. The instance type is T2 micro. The status check is not available yet. So the availability zone in which this instance is being launched is US West 2A. And we have our public DNS here. We have our public IPv4 address here. Right here, we did not assign any elastic IP. We did not assign any IPv6. So monitoring is set to disable. The security group name we have here is Launch Wizard 38. Then our key name is new key. Then the launch time is right here. So we are going to have to refresh here to see the status of the status check. It is still on initializing. So I'm going to pause this video and come back when the status check must have changed to 2/2 checks passed. So I'm going to pause my video and come back in a couple minutes. This check has changed from initializing to 2/2 checks passed. So right now we are going to access our web page from the browser. But before we do that, We want to open port 80 on our security group. Opening port 80 in our AWS security group is necessary to allow incoming web traffic to reach our Apache server. Port 80 is the default port for HTTP, the protocol used for delivering web content. By allowing traffic on this port 80, we enable users' web browser to communicate with the Apache web server and fetch the requested web pages. This is essential for the server to respond to HTTP requests and display the web content in the browser. So to open port 80 in our security group, we are going to click on security, and then we are going to click on this security group ID. Then right here, we are going to click on edit inbound roles. We're going to click on add roles. Then let's select HTTP. Let's select HTTP. Once we do that, the port defaults automatically to 80. So right here, we are going to click in here and select our sided block, which is going to be 0.0.0.0/0, meaning that what our web server is accepting traffic from anywhere in the internet. So we are going to click on save roles. Once this is done, we are going to go back to our EC2 instances. We are going to locate the EC2 instance we just launched, click on instance ID, and then we are going to grab either the public IPv4 or the public DNS. So let's go with public DNS, and let's head over to the browser. I'm going to do Ctrl-V to paste, :80, and I'm going to hit enter. So once I do this, it displays our web page. So this is our web page. Now, let's go back to our instance and grab a command there that is going to enable us to access our instance from the back end using an SSH client. Precisely, we are going to be using git bash. So I'm going to come back here. I'll click on connect. Under connect, I'm going to make sure SSH client is selected. Under example, I'm going to grab this command and I'm going to open my SSH client. The SSH client I'm going to use is git bash. So I type git here, git bash, select it. I'm going to bring it this way, make it full screen, and I'm going to zoom out. So as we said earlier, when you create an EC2 instance and create your key pair, it's going to create two of those keys. The private key is going to be downloaded on your local machine, precisely in the download folder. So we need to move into the download folder before running that command we copied from AWS Management Console. So to get into our download folder, you just need to type cd download. Note, download must start with an uppercase and end with an S. You hit enter, and now you can go ahead and paste your command and hit enter. Just type in yes. So you have successfully logged into your EC2 instance from the back end. So other things you can do here is to check the status of your Apache server, which of course is going to be active and running because we are able to view our web page from the browser. So to do that, we are going to type systemctl status httpd.service and hit enter. I think I have a typo there. I have a typo on status here. Let me change this S to A and hit enter. So you can see, if you look at this line here, you are going to see HTTPD service. It is loaded and it is active. So this is the end of this video. If you learned something from this video, subscribe and share. Thanks for watching.